American drone strike killed 3 Al-Qaeda suspects in Marib governorate. Government officials say that the current Saudi Houthi talks can make a real breakthrough. Thousands of displaced families in Marib province face the threat of hunger. Good evening. Welcome to Yemen Today TV. I'm Abir Ali and you're watching the English news. Foreign Minister Ahmed bin Mubarak met with the head of European missions to Yemen in Aden. The minister stated that the Houthi militia did not stop its military attack in various Yemeni regions, pointing to the importance of continuing pressure on the militia and supporting the PLC policy and economically to achieve peace. 3 people were killed in a drone strike believed to be American, targeted a car carrying them in Marib governorate, northeast of Yemen. The identity of the victims was not known, whether they were civilians or leaders and members of Ansar al-Sharia, the local branch of Al-Qaeda in Arabian Peninsula.
In an attack, the first of its kind since the beginning of the year, a drone targeted a car in a Samada area in Wadi Ubaida in Marib Governorate, central Yemen. Yemeni media revealed that the attack, which is believed to have been carried out by an American drone, killed the official responsible for manufacturing explosive devices and explosives in Al-Qaeda, known as Hassan al-Hadrami. They quoted tribal sources as confirming that al-Hadrami was killed, along with 2 of his companions, yesterday evening Monday, while they were driving the car. Al-Hadrami is considered one of the most important leaders in Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and is responsible for manufacturing explosive devices after the killing of Abdul Wahid al-Najdi in an airstrike last year. Al-Qaeda killed operative had great experience in the manufacturing of mines and explosives, which made him on top of the list of targets for the U.S. forces. The house of Hassan al-Hadrami was targeted in November last year, and he was hit in the raid. Media sources pointed out that the 3 people were suspected of belonging to Al-Qaeda. They explained that they were killed and their bodies were shot as a result of the airstrike, and their identities were not known until this moment. They pointed out that the unknown persons had recently come from outside Marib Governorate. Until now, there has been no immediate comment by the Yemeni or American authorities regarding this raid, nor had there been a denial or confirmation by Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula came into being in 2009. In April 2015, Al-Qaeda fighters seized the coastal city of Al-Mukalla in Hadramaut province, and the government troops retreated. Today, Al-Qaeda is still active in some pockets in the south of Yemen.
Through the last couple of days, the sources said talks between the Houthi rebels and the Saudi officials have taken place in order to reach a breakthrough in the current Yemeni stalemate. A Yemeni government source said that there could be a breakthrough in these talks. More in this following report.
Yemeni authorities are optimistic about a breakthrough as direct talks between the Iran-backed Houthi rebels and Saudi Arabia begin in an attempt to settle the 8-year-long conflict. The negotiations come after attempts to prolong the UN brokered truce in October have failed, and the Houthis began a series of strikes on oil ships and ports, though significant warfare did not recur on main front lines. A Yemeni official stated that the Saudi delegation was recently in Sana'a for comprehensive discussions. While the parties did not settle on any agreement as of yet, they are expecting a breakthrough within the next few weeks. The official source added that the Saudi team has returned to the kingdom for internal deliberation. A senior U.S. official familiar with the talks confirmed they were ongoing but said Iran needed to do more to support the path to peace. The official stated that while the U.S. appreciated that the Iranians welcomed the truce, Iran applying its diplomatic influence in Yemen cannot be constructive to end the war. The official said that the continuous delivery of Iranian armaments to the Houthis was out of step with where the international community is and where the Houthis are in terms of their willingness to negotiate with the Houthis. While Oman has not officially commented on the situation, the Sultanate has traditionally served as a significant mediator and has strong links on both sides of the crisis. Meanwhile, the Saudis appear to be vying with the Houthis to cease cross-border assaults on the kingdom in exchange for paying military and civilian wages in Houthi-controlled regions. Salaries for civil and government servants have been a sticking issue in prior talks with the Houthis, who insist that the Yemeni government shoulder the costs. Al-Alimi said in a statement released by official media that he would personally monitor the group's work. Yemen has been at war since 2014 when the Houthis seized Sana'a and drove the government into exile. A plea for assistance from the coalition led by Saudi Arabia in driving back the rebels led to the recapture of the southern port city of Aden.
A U.S. Coast Guard vessel seized illegal drug worth total of $33 million from a fishing vessel in the Gulf of Oman. U.S. Coast Guard was patrolling regional water when it seized 4,000 kilograms of hashish and other drugs from smuggling vessel.
So they're giving you nutrition for him?
قالوا لي سلمي له ما عنده ديله اتيته بطاقه الاسبوع يبون 15 ودحين تركه مدري هي هبول له مدري لا يا صعب علينا بعض الحين نحصلوا له حتى 10 ريال والله معانا قال له حقه من نشتري.
And what's the problem with his hands? What happened?
ياكلها بس نالو لما يسيل دم.
Oh my gosh, it's red raw. Why is he eating his fingers?
ياكلها بنفسه كذا يمسكها وياكلها لما يسيل دم. بعض الحين مراها لقدي يسيل دم من هنا من سنانه حتى ينكع مضله. الحين ما احس الحين معه ولا قال ما هسوي. الحين ما راهن جاع هم ما بهن.
The International Organization for Migration announced the displacement of 160 Yemeni families during the fourth week of January. It said in a weekly report that most of those families were displaced in Abiyan, followed by Marib Governorate, while Taiz received 31 families. According to statistics, the total number of displaced persons since the beginning of January has reached 8,388 individuals. The problem of the displaced people in the Governorate of Marib is increasing day by day. The IDPs are in a bad need for help. The following report has more details.
In this camp in the middle of the Samia Desert east of Marib, thousands of displaced families face the threat of starvation, like the rest of the other camps, which are in 190. They have been without food for more than 3 months now. Inside this small tent lives the family of Khalil Muhammad Amin, whose life has narrowed down as a result of the war that displaced them years ago from Sirwah district west of Marib. His wife is trying to prepare lunch in the small kitchen, which contains only burning fire to prepare tea and leftover flour that is the only thing left for them to feed their 4 children. While the father says that their situation takes them towards a fate that is more painful in the face of hunger and starvation.
We only have bread, flour and firewood. We're not able to buy anything more. We can't even afford paying for gas. Now they raise the price of 1 gas cylinder to 8,000 riyal. We could barely get one before for 5,000. What about now? Even the flour is not available as before. Last time we received was 4 months ago. How are we supposed to live amid these insanely hard conditions? We are addressing the authorities, but no one is listening. We are asking them to have mercy on us.
Hunger ravages the tents of many displaced families inside the camps, while the food items inside the warehouses of relief organizations expire without being distributed to the displaced people. Recently, the World Food Programme has destroyed thousands of tons of expired flour in Marib, with a continuation of stopping the distribution of aid from food rations to the displaced, while hunger is ravaging the bodies of children and families in the camps. The executive unit issued a statement demanding that the food program distribute the rations of the displaced after receiving reports from inside the camps about the deterioration of their conditions and the discontinuation of the distribution of food rations, so that an expanded meeting with the program came out with disappointing decisions that exacerbate the crisis and make it worse by not distributing these materials, which puts the fate of the displaced in a humanitarian catastrophe.
طبعا كان هناك اجتماع للكتلة الفرعية للغذاء.
A meeting was held in the Governorate for all the authorities that are responsible for the food program to discuss the most important needs of the people inside the Governorate. There is a 4-month delay in distributing the food rations, despite the extreme need that the displaced people are suffering from.
The war continues and the suffering of the displaced is exacerbated for the worse, in light of the reduction in cutting off relief aid, most of which the displaced depend on, mainly putting about 2 million displaced people at the mercy of hunger, which has begun to eat away the bodies of children and adults.
A woman and a man were injured when 2 mines left behind by the terrorist Houthi militia exploded in 2 separate incidents in Al Bayda and Al Hodeidah governorates. A local source said that the woman was hit by a mine while she was grazing sheep, which led to the amputation of her foot. A farmer was also injured when a Houthi mine exploded while he was working on his farm in the city of Tuhaita, south of Hodeidah. Some Organization for Rights and Liberties reported more than 4,000 human rights violations in Yemen during the past year. The violations included the right to life, the use of mines, physical assaults, arbitrary arrest, torture, and forced conscriptions. The Houthi militia launched heavy bombardment on several population villages in the governorates of Al Hodeidah and Taiz. Local sources reported that the Houthi shelling with the machine guns and mortars caused a state of fear and panic among people. The terrorist Houthi militia raided a village in the Hafash district in Al Mahwid governorate. Local sources said that the Houthi militia fired indiscriminately at citizens' homes and detained the tribe's chief. Coming next in the news. The women market in Mukalla is the oldest one in the Arabian Peninsula.
تهامة فيها خير كبير جدا.
البيطري صمم عمان للتغذية الحيوانية بشكل عام.
نجي نعالج البقرة على طول، الحمد لله الآن لو في بقرة مريضة نعرف إيش فيها.
يهدف المشروع إلى تحسين سبل عيش مربيات الثروة الحيوانية.
قمنا بعملية تدريب المربيات. الهدف هو كيف ننتج حليب نظيف.
طبعا هناك حماس صراحة من المزارعين وجمعية كشوبع.
نسبة الزيادة في الإنتاج قد تكون 99%.
Welcome back. In Taiz, Al-Hikma Al-Yemeniya Charitable Society concluded the construction, restoration, maintenance and furnishing works for 3 education facilities in the governorate. The project accommodated more than 6,000 students with the support and funding of the Kuwaiti Society for Relief. Al-Hikma Al-Yemeni Charitable Society held a ceremony in which many culture and various items were presented.
We've concluded the second phase of the restoration and renovation of 3 educational facilities. The Society funded the restoration of 11 classrooms in addition to the old buildings. The buildings have been also equipped with teaching and educational tools, solar and sound systems, as well as double desks for students. 6,000 students will benefit from this project. It was made through partnership between Al Hikma Al Yamaniya Charity and Kuwaiti Relief Fund. These restoration projects are among the projects that are being launched by the State of Kuwait. They come as an example of how Kuwait is engaging to support education. We thank all those who participated in the success of these projects. We hope this can make a difference in the educational process.
A Yemeni expert in antiquities revealed the existence of three of the most important Yemeni archaeological groups in Europe in Austrian exhibition. The expert had revealed during the past month and weeks that the most expensive 10 pieces of Yemeni's antiquities had been sold in international auctions and confirmed that more than 15,000 pieces looted inside might find their way abroad. The women's market in the city of Mukalla, the capital of Hadramaut Governorate, eastern of Yemen, is considered one of the most famous and oldest markets in the city. Shoppers find all they need of traditional and other goods despite the economic conditions that the country is witnessing.
Here in this ancient place with the city's heritage and its authentic Hadrami people, many women practice business with passion and competence. Maha is one of these women who found in this special popular market her opportunity to open a small shop that sells women's clothes. A wide turnout of women made Maha find in this small business her own project and a source of income for her family.
فتحت هذا المحل بالنسبة لي سويته ما شاء الله تبارك الله خاص بالنساء لأن النساء يستحون من الرجال.
I established the store especially for women, as women usually get embarrassed to buy their stuff from men and they prefer female sellers. This market finds huge turnout from people in Mukalla, and some people find it better than malls in terms of prices and accessibility.
The women's market in the city of Hadramaut is one of the most important historical and popular landmarks for which the city of Mukalla is famous, as historical sources indicate that its establishment dates back to the beginning of the 30s to preserve its popular heritage and its uniqueness until now.
تأسس هذا السوق في ثلاثينات القرن الماضي.
This market was founded in the 30s and it was named the Women's Market as women find it a safe place to buy whatever they want, including clothes, plates, incense, and henna. This market also represents a resort for tourists who visit Mukalla.
The women's market in Mukalla enjoys its importance, in which it contains all popular women's products and all visitor needs in terms of traditional and various commodities such as incense and nuts. It made it a safe place for women and a touristic destination for many visitors. Thus, the Hadrami women working in this market find their appropriate place to display their goods and products in a way that contributes to encouraging them and improving their economic conditions. This reflects the success and distinction of Yemeni women in doing business throughout the stages of history.
Here is a reminder of the main headlines. American drone strike kills 3 Al-Qaeda suspects in Marib Governorate. Government officials say that the current Saudi Houthi talks can make a real breakthrough. Thousands of displaced families in Marib province face the threat of hunger. This is the end of the news. Thank you for watching.